It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown by Charles M. Schulz, illustrated by Vicki Scott. It was a special time of year. The air felt brisk and cool. The colorful leaves fell from the trees. The pumpkins were ready to be picked. It was fall, and for Linus, Lucy, Snoopy, and Charlie Brown, that meant Halloween was almost here. It also meant football. One afternoon, Lucy approached Charlie Brown.
"I'll hold the ball, and you come running and kick it,"
she said sweetly. But Charlie Brown shook his head. He knew what Lucy was up to. "You just want me to come running up to kick that ball so you can pull it away and see me land flat on my back,"
"This time you can trust me,"
said Lucy. She held out a piece of paper.
"See? Here's a signed document testifying that I promised not to pull it away."
He felt excited. This year, he was really going to kick that football. Charlie Brown got a running start, but as usual, Lucy pulled the ball away as he got close. "Ah!" cried Charlie Brown as he flew into the air.
"Peculiar thing about this document,"
said Lucy.
"It was never notarized."
Meanwhile, Linus was busy with his own fall tradition. He was writing his annual letter to the Great Pumpkin.
"Dear Great Pumpkin,"
Linus began,
"I am looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night. I hope you will bring me lots of presents."
Charlie Brown was curious. "Who are you writing to?" he asked. Linus smiled, and then he explained,
"This is the time of year to write to the Great Pumpkin. On Halloween night, the Great Pumpkin rises out of his pumpkin patch and flies through the air with a bag of toys for all the children."
Charlie Brown just shook his head as he walked away. Even Snoopy laughed as he walked by. Linus kept on writing. Soon his sister Lucy came by.
"Not again,"
Lucy complained over his shoulder.
"Writing a letter to a pumpkin? You make me the laughingstock of the neighborhood."
But Linus still wrote.
"Everyone tells me you are a fake, but I believe in you."
A little while later, Sally walked over. She wanted to know what Linus was doing. Linus told her all about the Great Pumpkin.
"Would you like to sit with me in the pumpkin patch on Halloween night and wait for the Great Pumpkin?" "I'd love to, Linus,"
said Sally. Finally, Linus was finished writing his letter.
"And how do you think you're gonna mail that letter?"
Lucy asked.
"You can't possibly reach the mailbox, and I'm not going to help you."
But Linus had an idea. He used his blanket like a lasso to open the mailbox. Then he tossed the letter in. Nothing could stop him from sending his letter to the Great Pumpkin. As Linus went proudly back inside, Charlie Brown came running up to Lucy. "I got an invitation to a Halloween party," Charlie Brown told her. He did a happy dance. "It's the first time I've ever been invited to a party." Lucy frowned.
"If you got an invitation, it was a mistake. There were 2 lists, one to invite and one not to invite. You must have been put on the wrong list."
But Charlie Brown didn't care what Lucy said. He had his invitation, and he was going to that Halloween party. Soon, it was Halloween night. The kids all changed into their costumes for trick-or-treating. Lucy was a witch. Sally was a ghost. She was afraid of her own costume. Charlie Brown was also a ghost, but he had a little trouble with the scissors. Pigpen was a ghost, a very dirty one. Even Snoopy had dressed up. He was a World War I flying ace.
"Now I've heard everything,"
exclaimed Lucy. As Snoopy marched in a different direction, the little group hurried off to start trick-or-treating. They soon ran into Linus in the pumpkin patch.
"Have you come to see Pumpkin Carol?"
he asked them.
You're gonna miss all the fun, just like last year,
Lucy told him. But Linus didn't care. He knew the great pumpkin was on his way to this pumpkin patch.
You really think he'll come?
Sally asked. As everyone left to go trick-or-treating, she was torn. Should she go with them or stay with Linus? Sally decided to stay,
I'm glad.
said Linus.
You'll see the great pumpkin with your own eyes. Each year, the great pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch that he thinks is the most sincere. He's not to pick this one. I don't see how a pumpkin patch would be more sincere than this one.
Meanwhile, the other kids had arrived at their first house of the night.
Trick or treat!
They cried. One by one, candy was thrown into their bags.
Can I have an extra piece of candy for my brother?
Lucy asked.
He couldn't come with us because he's sitting in a pumpkin patch waiting for the great pumpkin.
The kids compared what they got,
I got 5 pieces of candy.
said Lucy,
I got a chocolate bar.
said Violet. I got a quarter, said Schroeder. I got a rock, said Charlie Brown. Soon everyone's bags were filled with candy except Charlie Brown's. His bag was filled with rocks. But he didn't let that get him down. It was time to go to the Halloween party. On the way, Violet wondered where Snoopy, the World War I flying ace, had gone. He's probably getting ready to take off on the next dawn patrol, answered Charlie Brown. Soon the group passed by the pumpkin patch.
Has the great pumpkin been by?
Taunted Violet.
You think you're so smart.
Sally called as the laughing group continued along.
He'll be here. You can bet on that.
Sally turned to Linus.
All right, where is he?
He'll be here.
Linus assured her,
I hope so.
said Sally.
Just think of all the fun we're missing.
Across town, the Halloween party was in full swing. There were games and music and pumpkins to decorate. Violet, Patty, and Lucy wanted to draw the perfect face on their pumpkin, but how would they know what to draw on it?
You'll have to model for us.
Violet told Charlie Brown.
You'll be the perfect model.
Agreed Patty. Charlie Brown felt honored. He sat down on a stool. Violet turned him around. That's when he realized they wanted to use the back of his head as a model for the pumpkin. Next, it was time to bob for apples. Lucy went first.
This is the way to do it.
She stuck her head in the barrel and came up with an apple. And Snoopy,
Blech!
she cried.
My lips touch dog lips.
Snoopy danced along while Schroeder played the piano. Then he figured it was time to continue on his journey as a World War I flying ace. He sniffed his way to the pumpkin patch. Sally was just about fed up. Where was the great pumpkin? Linus tried to reassure her.
Dusty Sally and the great pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch. We'll be here to see him.
All of a sudden, Linus heard a noise.
What's that?
He asked. He watched as a dark figure appeared in the pumpkin patch.
There he is! It's the great pumpkin!
Linus shouted. He was so excited that he fainted. When Linus awoke, Sally was waiting for him.
What happened?
Linus asked.
Why did the great pumpkin leave us? Did he leave us any toys?
Sally couldn't contain her frustration any longer.
I was robbed.
She shouted.
I spent the whole night waiting for the great pumpkin when I could have been out for tricks or treats. Halloween is over and I missed it.
She pointed at Linus.
You kept me up all night waiting for the great pumpkin, and all that came was a beagle.
As Sally left, Linus called after her.
It won't be long now.
He said.
If the great pumpkin comes, I'll scoop it in. A good word for you.
Linus gasped. He said, if. Was he starting to doubt the great pumpkin too? The hours ticked by. After a while, Linus fell asleep. He was shivering under his blanket when Lucy came out to get him in the very early hours of the morning and tuck him into bed. Later that day, Charlie Brown and Linus met up. "Well, another Halloween has come and gone," said Charlie Brown. "I don't understand it. I went trick-or-treating and all I got was a bag full of rocks." Charlie Brown looked at his friend. "I suppose you spent all night in the pumpkin patch and the great pumpkin never showed up,"
Nope.
said Linus. "Don't take it too hard, Linus," Charlie Brown said. "I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, too." Linus furrowed his brows.
Stupid? What do you mean, stupid? Listen, wait till next year, Charlie Brown. You'll see. Next year, I'll find the pumpkin patch that is really sincere. And I'll sit in the pumpkin patch until the great pumpkin appears.
The end. Thank you for listening to Firefly Storytime. Don't forget, please ask a grown-up to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. See you next time.